Jura is the reincarnation of the Ten Tails itself. However, this is a different Ten Tails from the one we knew before. But before we break it down further, do all Otsutsuki who destroy planets to create a chakra fruit each have their own Ten Tails? So, today is my day. There's something very interesting, especially about Jura. But before that, I hope you can kindly give a like or subscribe as support. Thanks, guys. With the confirmation from Kashin Koji that they must treat Jura as an ordinary customer and not provoke his anger, it can be said that they have no choice but to allow Jura to do whatever he wants. Jura won't do anything harmful to Konoha unless someone provokes his anger. Yep, this indirectly proves that Jura is the strongest and that no one in Konoha can match him, not even Damon. But this isn't about Damon, nor is it about Jura fighting Damon. There's something else more interesting for us to discuss, especially regarding Jura, because essentially all theories about Damon being the strongest have been directly disproven by Kashin Koji through his words. If Jura is provoked, there is no chance of winning. And yep, there's no need to argue further about Damon because today there is something interesting for us to talk about. That is the origin of JUBI and why this creature looks so strong. Perhaps if we compare it with the villains in the Naruto universe, the villains in the Boruto universe don't make sense. Try to imagine who the strongest villain in the Naruto universe is, whose strength is comparable to the villains in the Boruto universe. And are the villains in the Naruto universe stronger than the villains in the Boruto universe? I await your answer. But honestly, if you think that the divine tree human is strong, it's most likely because it has something to do with Shibai Otsutsuki. But have you ever questioned why Jura always wants to read books and get information? I know your response will be that Jura is a newborn baby monster with not so much knowledge, and therefore after his instincts were awakened, he was eager to learn things. But why does this only apply to Jura? Why aren't the other divine tree humans the same as Jura? If treating the others the same as Jura, they should be the same as Jura. On the other hand, the fact is that it is true that Jura is the reincarnation of the Ten Tails itself. But let's first break down and analyze about Jura as the reincarnation of the Ten Tails itself. Basically, the purpose of JUBI is to consume the life of a planet. So this all includes the chakras and life energy of every living being, which contains information as well. This is in accordance with what Amado once said, that the chakra fruit contains the energy and genetic information of every creature that has ever lived and died on a planet. Jura himself is the reincarnation of JUBI, meaning he came from JUBI itself. He needs to consume an Otsutsuki and turn into a divine tree to absorb all the information. Until then, Jura must find a way to gather information on the planet, with one of the ways being reading books, which is certainly the best way to gather data other than eating the entire planet. If you're wondering why Jura seems so much stronger than the JUBI we saw in the Fourth Shinobi War, it's because he's a different species. But do you agree if we conclude that Jura is the strongest JUBI compared to the JUBI in the Fourth Shinobi War? But there is another question about the JUBI. Do you think the JUBI in the Naruto universe and the Boruto universe are two different JUBI? In other words, the JUBI in the Naruto universe belongs to Kaguya, while the JUBI in the Boruto universe, it belongs to Ishiki himself. If the JUBI in the Boruto universe is really Ishiki's, I suspect that this JUBI is a JUBI that has a relationship with Shibai Otsutsuki. If you go back to the chapter where Amado first arrived in Konoha, he explained that he didn't know where this JUBI came from. These words are quite interesting as to why Amado needs to clarify that he doesn't know where the JUBI came from. It's obvious that the JUBI is Ishiki's JUBI because the dimension used to confine the JUBI itself must be Ishiki's dimension. There is no doubt that Amado is a genius. Amado's intelligence allows him to make the most logical conclusions, and we've already seen evidence that he does. For example, when Amado told Sumire about how he could be sure that Kawaki's body was his creation, Amado must have looked at all the information around him and deduced it until the person was completely convinced by his explanation. So we can conclude that if Amado did not say with certainty that it was Ishiki's JUBI, it means that Amado had looked at the various information he knew, and he believed that it was a different specimen of JUBI from the one that existed in the Fourth Shinobi War. That is, he believes that Ishiki's JUBI is not the JUBI that Naruto and Sasuke fought in the Fourth Shinobi War. He believes that the JUBI locked up in that dimension is a JUBI that does not know where it came from, and it is not Ishiki's real JUBI. It could also be that the dimension where JUBI was locked up was not Ishiki's either. Again, the more plausible theory always leads to Shibai Otsutsuki. So, with the analysis and theories about JUBI that have been broken down, it can be concluded that Jura is the reincarnation of Shibai Otsutsuki's JUBI. But is it impossible for a Shibai to have a JUBI? And to support this theory, there is a fact that can conclude and make you believe that these words are true. Are you aware and do you know why the black rods that restrain JUBI's movements did not disappear after Ishiki's death? And why? Is this just a coincidence without a logical reason? After all, we clearly saw that after Momoshiki died and left his karma in Boruto's body, the black rods impaling Naruto and Sasuke disappeared instantly, along with Momoshiki's death. This means that if the black rods restraining JUBI's movements originated from Ishiki's power, they should have vanished along with Ishiki Otsutsuki's demise. Is this reasonable and logical, guys? So, based on these facts, I believe you should now understand that Jura is actually the 10 tails, JUBI, used by Shibai to devour many planets until he ultimately became a god Otsutsuki. However, even if you don't believe that the JUBI was used by Shibai to consume or destroy many planets, at the very least, you should consider that Jura is a reincarnation of the 10 tails and is connected to Otsutsuki Shibai. With the fact that Jura is a reincarnation of Shibai's JUBI, it might explain why Jura cannot be easily killed by Boruto. On the contrary, it's Boruto who could be easily defeated by Jura. Furthermore, Ishiki's statement to Code further supports this theory. Ishiki once said that if Code wanted to become a new Otsutsuki, he would need to consume a chakra fruit produced by the Shinju rooted on planet Earth. Then after that, he asked Code to eat many planets in the universe and continue to evolve so that he became a unique and invincible being, becoming a god Otsutsuki. The question is, how does Code devour multiple planets with just one JUBI? If Ishiki is saying this, then he is indirectly confirming to us that a single JUBI is enough to eat multiple planets. In other words, in the process of becoming god Otsutsuki, Shibai used only one JUBI to devour many planets. After he became a god Otsutsuki and left his original dimension, that 10 tails likely remains alive to this day. And we're still talking about the JUBI. Do you know the reason why Jigen absorbed the chakra of this JUBI before fighting Naruto and Sasuke? Believe it or not, it's because the chakra of this JUBI is stronger than the chakra of the JUBI from the Fourth Shinobi War. Perhaps Jigen wouldn't have been able to defeat Naruto and Sasuke if he hadn't absorbed the JUBI's chakra. Because in truth, Jigen wasn't a perfect vessel for Ishiki. Naruto and Sasuke should have been able to handle Jigen with their power at the time. However, since Jigen absorbed the JUBI's chakra before fighting Naruto and Sasuke, he gained a significant advantage, giving him a higher chance of winning against them. And if you still believe that this JUBI isn't Shibai's JUBI, don't you find it strange why Jigen would want to absorb chakra from a JUBI that hadn't consumed an Otsutsuki or absorbed the energy of a planet? Normally, if this JUBI were one that hadn't experienced consuming an Otsutsuki or devouring a planet, it wouldn't be of much use or provide extraordinary power to Jigen, right? But in the end, it's up to you whether to believe in this theory or not. Fundamentally, everything we've broken down here is based on actual events and not just baseless talk without a clear reason. So what do you think? Thank you to everyone who has supported this channel with likes and subscriptions. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Data Bio.